Good morning, PTNI's Daily Show. Happy Thursday. Thanks for joining us here this morning. Sorry I'm going live a little bit early. I think that I'm going to run long today, and then I have to be back out in the gym to coach 9 a.m. class. So I want to make sure I have enough time to run long if I run long and not run over as well. So happy Thursday. Glad you're here. My name is Alan, COO of ICE, faculty member for our fitness athlete division, here on Thursdays talking all things leadership. You can just let him in here. Sorry, I got a dog issue. So happy to have you here. Let's talk all things leadership. So today we're talking about joining a team. So we often have folks ask how to be a part of ICE, how to teach for ICE, how to teach for other organizations, how to maybe get involved in teaching for a university. How does that look? How to come on board a really excellent clinical team as well. So what does all that look like? Something was said the other day on Workplace, which is this online communication platform we use through ICE to talk to each other between the faculty. And Justin Dunaway, my good friend Justin Dunaway, said something, don't tell me that you're impressive, just be impressive, right? And that really struck me as a way to start this conversation and as a way to talk about kind of this whole issue as a whole of how to get recognized, how to come on board a team that you're looking to get onboarded with. I think I'll start with my story of how I started with ICE, and I think that will maybe lay the groundwork a little bit for this talk, and then we'll get into some details from there. So some of you know this story. You know that it's kind of funny if you know this story. Some of you don't know this story at all. But how I started with ICE is that I started listening to Jeff screaming on Periscope, as many of you did a number of years ago, back when he went live at 6:30 in the morning Eastern time, so quite earlier than we go live now. And I just reached out to him after watching his Periscope every day for a couple months. And I said, hey, what would it take to bring you, at the time I was a student, bring you to our school and teach to some of the students? And we organized logistics of that course. And he came up to University of Michigan here in Michigan and taught his lumbar spine course. And then the next weekend he taught in Traverse City, which is a couple hours away, but also in Michigan, his cervical spine course. And a couple of us went to that course. And then he said, hey, I'm going to be in Maryland in a couple more weeks if you guys want to come down to that. And so a couple of us, even fewer, went down to Maryland for his total spine thrust course in Maryland. So over the course of maybe about a month, took 3 classes with Jeff, and at the time was in school and taking this course that required us to take continuing education. And so I needed those certificates, and I kept pestering Jeff by email, hey man, I need that certificate to turn in to get credit for this course. Hey, I need that certificate. Hey, I need that certificate. And he kept putting it off, and I thought, this guy is a whiz teaching, but he doesn't seem to have any logistical back end. And finally, Jeff emailed me back and he said, hey, I'm really sorry. It takes me sometimes a whole plane flight, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours to do the certificates for a course, and I just get really behind on these. And I said, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours? What's your process? Tell me your process. It seems like, and I didn't say this, but it's what I was thinking, it seems like you have no idea what you're doing logistically. And he told me, he would type it out, he would print it, sign it, scan it back in, and email it. And some of you that are more logistically oriented right now, you're groaning, right? You're already groaning. And so I said, well, what if you did this? What if you made a template and you did this and that saved it as a PDF and you uploaded your signature electronically and amended it to the PDF, and then all you had to do was change the names? You could generate, a couple dozen certificates in 20 minutes. And he said, wow, that really is going to save me a lot of time. Thanks. And so we went back and forth like that for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, where by back and forth, I meant that Jeff would just email me and ask me for help on how to do stuff logistically, what organizing social media would look like, what organizing an email campaign, marketing campaign would look like, and all these logistical questions that he just kept sending me, and I just kept answering them. Because I really liked what he's doing. I believed in what he's doing, and he seemed like a dude that legitimately needed some serious help. And so we went back and forth like that for a number of months before Jeff finally said, hey, why don't you come just work for me? Why don't you just come do all this stuff? It seems like you know what you're doing. It seems like you're pretty organized and you know how to organize this stuff. And I said, okay, what would that look like? And he said, what would look like, I can't pay you at all. And then maybe eventually, if we ever get off the ground here with this plane, it would look like that maybe someday down the road I could pay you maybe. And I said, all right, and I wasn't thinking, I certainly wasn't thinking I was going to be offered a huge salary, but I wasn't expecting $0 either, right? And so, but again, I truly believe in what we do here at ICE. I've told Jeff this multiple times now. I've told the faculty this multiple times. I have no problem going down with the ship, right? I have no problem being underpaid and overworked to see that the mission that we're on gets done. And so that was kind of how it got started with ICE. And what I want to reinforce from that whole long story that I hope you get out of it is that I didn't come to Jeff with a resume, with a CV, and say, here's my credentials, here's all my experience, let me know when I can start getting paid and work for you and have a job. And we see that a lot often across business, not just physical therapy, not just with ICE, but across business. We see people look at a successful organization, say, hey, I want to work for that organization. I want to work for Google. I want to work for Amazon. I want to work for this big successful organization that seems to have fun at work and they have nice perks, and I would like to be a part of that. It seems like they're off to great success. It would mean that I don't have to do any groundwork too much, and I'm just going to send them my application, and boy, I can't wait to get started. And what happens? You don't get started, right? People sometimes never even answer your email when you send them your resume, when you send them your application. And that speaks to a lot that when we're hiring folks and we're looking to be hired, that it's a little bit deeper than a Monster.com and Indeed.com ad, right? Those are for just filling positions. Those aren't looking for people with what we will call a fantastic fit, right? When we truly want to put somebody in our team, when we truly want to join a team, we want to make sure that it's a fantastic fit. It should fit like a lock and a key, not just grabbing some random weirdo from Monster.com or Indeed.com, right? That's a job. That's not a career. And so we have to get noticed. And to get noticed, I'll say that you have to be specialized and you have to be great. You have to be specialized. You cannot just be the person out of school that knows how to work with folks who just had their knee replaced or hip replaced or rotator cuff repaired, right? Anybody can do that. That's what school teaches you to do. Every physical therapist coming out of school can do passive range of motion on a joint and do a little bit of low-grade exercise. That's what's taught in school, and that's what everybody coming out of school can do. You have to be beyond that. You have to be a little bit more specialized, and you have to be really, really great at your specialty. You have to be the person in your area for that specialty. Whether you're working with runners or maybe patients with neurological disorders, whatever your jam is, you have to have one and you have to be specialized. Everybody needs a specialist. Everybody is looking for a specialist, right? Every clinic is looking to hire that awesome pelvic floor therapist, that person that can work with higher level athletes, get out into the CrossFit gym, into the local high school with the strength and conditioning coach, with the sports teams, the person that can really work with older adults and get good outcomes with older adults. People are looking for specialists. When I think of a great example of this in practice, I think of our good friends down at Vertex PT in South Carolina, Brandon Vaughn and his team down there. They're all dialed in on loading and what we would call PT 2.0, but they're also subspecialized. They have folks like Amy who are really good at working with runners. They have folks like Pat and Tristan and Kyle and Reed who are working really well at working with CrossFit athletes, right? They have a really good specialty, but they also are really dialed in on their subspecialties. And you see that they reach a broad range of folks. So the team there is broad. It reaches a lot of different areas. And I hope that's what you get from us when you look at our team here at ICE as well. We have a lot of specialists, and because we have a lot of specialists, we can cover a lot of ground. We can cover a lot of subspecialty areas of physical therapy. We do not need more people that we do not need more Jeff Moores, right? Jeff Moore, I asked him when I first started with ICE, I said, what is your vision? And he said, I don't really do things like that. I don't really do vision statements. And if you know Jeff at all, you're probably laughing. I said, okay, so tell me where you want to see this go. And he said, I want to see this become more than the Jeff Moore Roadshow, right? We do not need more Jeff Moores at ICE. We need people who can cover a wider range. We do not need more people just like us. And in the clinic, it's the same way, right? Brandon Vaughn down at Vertex does not want 10 Brandon Vaughns. He wants 10 people who think like him, who jam with him, who click with him, but who can reach a wider range of patients and clients and athletes than just him, right? You don't scale by just replicating yourself identically. You have people in the clinic and in your job who are similar to you, who have similar mindset and vision, but who have different specialties, who have a different skill set. That's how you scale. That's how you broaden your reach. And my second point ties into that a little bit, which is that we have to have this culture. As business owners, as clinic owners, as heads of organizations, we have to create a culture that makes it fun for people to work with us, but also kind of protects our brand, protects our culture that we've created. And we have to make sure that we really, really click well together. And we really have to make sure that everybody is on the same page. And so this was highlighted to me this year, reading the feedback from our surveys from the sampler. We had the ICE sampler out in Las Vegas, and we received a lot of feedback that it was like, wow, you have like 15 people, and they all have different specialty areas, but they're all saying the same thing, right? They're all on the same mission: fitness forward, lifestyle oriented, population health minded, psychologically informed practitioners, right? It's 20 people saying the same thing in a different manner with a different focus on a different aspect of patient population, right? And that's how your clinic should be designed. That's how you want to structure your clinic when you're looking at hiring people. When you get hired, that's what you're looking for as well, right? You're all on the same page. You have this culture, this brand that you start to build, and you start to protect that. That's your job as the leader of an organization, is to protect that culture. That culture is what makes people want to work for you forever. That's what makes people work for you and not check monster.com at lunch break looking for a better job, right? That culture is what makes it fun to come to work and makes work not seem like work, right? Work becomes much more enjoyable when you have that culture and you're really, really diligent about protecting it. At ICE, I mean, you know us as these crazy folks that work out at every class, social media, getting 100-year-olds swinging kettlebells and being dialed in on changing lives and not symptoms. That's the culture. That's the brand we've created. If we lose that, if we hire somebody who fundamentally does not believe that, then we lose that brand, we lose that culture, and we no longer stand out in the crowd. And being in the clinic is the same way, right? Mitch and I here at Health HQ practice pretty much identically, right? When people jump on our schedule, hey, Mitch, when can I come see you? Hey, I don't have any availability. What about seeing Alan? Oh, I don't know. How does Alan practice? Well, he practices pretty much like I do. We're pretty much the same person. Sometimes we even wear the same clothes to work every day, right? So when you have that culture, when you have that brand, you know that you can trust those people on your team to practice and act the same way as you, maybe with a little bit different of approach, but that culture, that brand is the same. We have to make sure we protect that, and that's why we have to be really, really, really judicious about hiring folks. We just not let anybody onto that team, right? We have to really, really, really vet people. We have to be very, very sure that they are on the same mindset. We see a lot of missed opportunity with this in clinical practice with students. We get a student and we think, oh boy, free labor, and we give them a full caseload, and we never actually learn how they practice, or even if we like them as a person, even if we don't mind hanging out with them 8 hours a day. And then we hire them because they've worked there and they know how to use the EMR, but they might not be a good fit for the culture. And then we have this clinic of a whole bunch of different people who are not on the same page, who are saying different stuff. One person is in the corner saying, hey, it's okay to lift heavy weights even though you're 80. And somebody in the other corner is saying, hey, your left on right, up slipped, rotated sacral torsion is why your back hurts and your disc is slipped. And you have this culture, this cognitive dissonance in the clinic that is all over the place. And you've never created a culture, you've never created a brand, and you certainly haven't protected it. And you've let people on board who are not on the same page, and that translates really well to poor outcomes overall. And so my third point ties into this in that we need to have a give, 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 ask mindset. If you follow Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary Vee at all, you know that Gary Vee is really big on this, that you kind of have to give a lot. And that might mean when you want to come on board a team that you show up for a day or a week and you observe and you let the owner of that clinic, the other clinicians there, get to know you really well, and vice versa. You spend the time as the clinic owner, as a clinic director, having folks come in and observe and watch you practice and you watch them practice before you even discuss being hired there, right? To make sure that it's a really good fit, that give, ask mindset. And we don't see that happen a lot. Again, we just see folks just email a resume. Hey, here's my resume. I think I have a ton of experience, and I think it would be a good fit for your team. Let me know when I can start. Here's what I would like to see for my salary. We see people try to join a team that way. We see people try to have people join their team that way, and it's no surprise that it translates super bad into poor fits, into clinical cultures that are all over the place and not really of the same mind. So have that give, ask mindset in mind when you are looking to join a team, right? It might mean that you have to show up a lot and to get noticed, and that's kind of the whole idea behind getting noticed, right? We have a lot of people that we watch. No one that teaches for ICE has gotten hired that way, right? We've never hired anybody who's emailed us the resume and told us that they would love to teach for us and when they could start, right? It doesn't work that way. We're very, very, very strict on how we protect our culture and who we let onto our team for all the reasons I just said. All the faculty were people that we noticed already teaching other areas or who came to our courses and we said that person is on the exact same wavelength as us and they are in a different specialty than what we have. We need to get them on our team. And sometimes that means it's just folks who are already on our team that have a different specialty area, right? So I think of Christina Previtt. She came down to Fitness Athlete in Fenton in March. Obviously very, very skilled in loading and moving older adults as she teaches for our Modern Management of the Older Adult course. But on Sunday of the course, her and her colleague, Kelsey, gave a complete impromptu 30-minute seminar on working with the pregnant and postpartum athlete, how to palpate and diagnose diastasis recti, how to modify different CrossFit movements for pregnant and postpartum athletes. And I said, oh man, we have got to get on a call with Jeff and get you teaching a course in this. You know this stuff like the back of your hand. You had 40 people spending 30 minutes writing furious notes down of everything that came out of your mouth, right? So sometimes that means just looking to folks already on your team and seeing if they have a different specialty area that we don't know about or that we aren't capitalizing on. So sometimes not always looking externally to hire either. So just keep that in mind, that great fits don't happen by emailing a resume or faxing a resume, right? I always laugh when people fax a resume randomly with no warning, right? Here's my resume. This seems like a cool place to work. Hire me. It doesn't go that way. It never has gone that way in any aspect of business, and it never will go that way. So show up. We have people that we're watching. That's kind of how we do things here at ICE, and that's kind of how things should be in the clinic too. You should have people that you are noticing and you're thinking, that person has a lot of potential. And you follow those people and you watch them and you see where they go, and if it seems right, then you go to that fit. You don't just grab random people, because it's no surprise that doesn't work. So keep in mind the fit has to be fantastic. You have to be on the same mission for people you're hiring, for people that you're looking to get on board with. It has to be a fantastic fit. You don't have to be the same person. We don't want to be the same person. We don't need 10 of the same people. We want 10 people who think very similar in their mindset and vision, who have different specialty areas. We have to have a give, ask mindset, where you show up. It might mean you're not getting paid. It might not mean you're getting paid a lot. Initially, when we vet TAs, we pay for nothing. Hey, if you really want to do this, show up, show us what you got, and then we'll go from there. And then it kind of translates into paying for the travel, and then it becomes into actually a paid position. But it has that stepstone of give, ask mindset. You don't just show up and get paid $5,000, right? It doesn't work that way anywhere in any aspect of business anywhere on the planet, right? That's kind of the whole basis of an internship to begin with, right? Is to see what you've got without wasting any resources on paying you or giving you insurance or anything like that, right? That's why there's all those unpaid summer internships in pretty much every undergraduate program ever. So have that give, ask mindset. And then finally, protect your culture. When you have established a culture, when you have established a brand for your business, for your clinic, whatever you're running, be really authoritative and be kind of mean about controlling that, right? You've built that. It's what's brought you success. Don't give it away because you want to fill a position on the team. And don't expect when you're trying to jump on a team that somebody is just going to let you jump on the team without making sure you're a good fit, right? We've all had those people that we've worked with. They seem cool in an hour-long interview, but after you spend a week with them, you think, this person is a total weirdo. I hate working with this person, right? So have folks try longer observation. Have them try a longer trial period before you just hire them, right? Make sure that they're actually a good fit. Anybody can seem like a nice, likable person for a 10-minute interview, right? That's within the capacity of every human being. But after an hour, after 8 hours, after a week, after a month, is this still a person that you think is a good fit for your team? If the answer is no, then it's not a good fit, but be really, really diligent about protecting the culture that you've created when we're talking about hiring people. If you think you would hate working with them for the rest of your life, then it's not a good fit. Treat it like a date, right? Like, okay, the first date went okay. Do I want a second date? If the answer is no, don't hire that person, right? If you cringe at the idea of having the person back in the clinic again anymore in the future, then know that the answer is no, and that's okay. Because we have to be really, really, really judicious about protecting the culture that we've created. You will not understand and get to work with somebody unless you actually understand and work with somebody over a period of time. That's how you truly know that somebody is a good fit. So I hope this helps. A lot of people will reach out and ask, how do I get started teaching for ICE? How can I get started teaching in maybe the PT program nearby, maybe with a different kind of company, teaching maybe at an undergraduate level in the program that you went to undergrad at. So keep these things in mind when you're looking at coming on board a team, or if you're in the driver's seat, if you're looking at bringing people on board your team. So fantastic fit, give, ask, and make sure that you protect the culture and brand that you've created. Courses coming up, not many that are open. So this weekend, Jeff will be in Blacksburg, Virginia, teaching lumbar spine down at Total Motion. Zach will be in Atlanta, Georgia at CrossFit RX, teaching Clinical Management Fitness Athlete Live Seminar. If you can't catch Zach in Atlanta, you can catch Mitch, Guillermo, Kelly, and myself up in Milwaukee, June 22nd and 23rd. If you're out on the West Coast, you can catch Justin teaching Total Spine Thrust Manipulation in Pasco, Washington, that same weekend, June 22nd to 23rd. If you can't catch Justin then, he'll be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, June 29th to 30th. And then Jeff will be in Bellingham, Washington, June 29th to 30th, teaching lumbar spine management. If a live course is not in the books for you, we have Modern Management of the Older Adult starting online, 8 weeks, June 9th. We have our Clinical Management of the Fitness Athlete Pregnancy and Postpartum course debuting June 16th. That course is sold out, but you can jump into the September 9th course before that one fills up as well. That'll be our last one for the year. And then you can catch Justin teaching Persistent Pain Management online June 17th. Those are all 8-week online courses approved for 16 CEUs. If a paid course is not in the books for you right now, make sure you are signed up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter, though. So go to ptonice.com, scroll to the bottom, sign up for Hump Day Hustling. We send you an email every Wednesday morning. We send you 5 articles that we've read as the faculty in the past week that we think you should see that are new to press, that we think will have some value for you. And we send you some stuff that's been going on in social media, some blog articles, videos that we think you should see as well. That's free. So if a paid course is not in the book, then at least jump on board Hump Day Hustling so we can pump you out some research and content that's coming out week to week. That's all I got for you. I am off, as I said, to coach 9 a.m., some hang, squat cleans, and muscle ups. Pretty fun little couplet workout here at CrossFit Fenton. Hope you have a great week. Hope you have a great weekend. I will see you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.